H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.
So how's the practice going on, guys? Is everything getting into your mind, or it's overflowing? You guys can just type in. All are good? Okay, good. All right, so let's start up. I think in the last session we stopped on the okay. We learned about private. We learned about public. We learned about default. So the last one which I left out was the protected one. Okay, great. Yeah, thanks, Sri. As when you talk about protected specifier, you can only access this protected one inside the package or in the same hierarchy. Okay, so when I talk about same hierarchy, let's talk about we already have a hierarchy here. We have a person and we have got an employee here, and you see that employee is basically extending your person class. Okay, now the person class has got all the access to the employees without any issues at all. Okay, because if you talk about name, age, and SSN, all the three are private, and you have got the setters and getters. And here you're basically setting the values of name, age, and SSN using your constructor itself. Okay, you do not have the access to the variables outside the package. Sorry, outside the class here. Okay. Now we even spoke about for that reason, what you do is you need to have the member variables as private. So when I say member variables, so these are the members of this particular class. So these are private, and you can access it using your using a setters and getters. And we did not add the setters for SSN and age. We know the reason why. Okay, we don't want anyone to change the SSN and name here. Okay, and age we had the getters and setters because I want someone to change the age depending on the timeline. Okay, so if today this year it is 10, next year it is 11, blah blah blah, right? Now we didn't speak about protected here. So when you talk about protected, what I can do, let's say I'll be having a particular variable here. Let's say if I say protected, okay, and see these specifiers are good for even the variables, or it could be for the methods also. If you have the methods accordingly, it is good. You have the same visibility of your variables and the methods accordingly. Okay, so let's talk about the protected now. So when you talk about protected, let's say I say int ID. Okay, so I say person has got some ID over here, right? Now when you talk about person, if you go to the employee, okay, so if I try to access the ID, I can just say variable this dot ID equals to, let's say 10. Okay, that means being in a subclass, right? Now if I say this dot name, it is not visible because name, age, and SSN all are private here. Okay, but only one thing which is visible right now to the subclass is your ID. Okay, and you're just giving an ID as 10 here. So the main objective is I can access the variable in my subclass. When I talk about subclass, employee is a subclass to your person here. Okay, so this way I can do it. And let's say if I create an employee, let's say, okay, I right click new class. So I'll just try creating a Java file here. And what am I going to do? I'm just going to create an instance of your employee. Okay, so I say employee emp equals to new employee. Okay. Okay, so I just give some age, some name here, test, and the age will be, let's say 12, assistant will be something. Okay. All right, so now let's try accessing the ID right now, because I have created an instance of your instead of instance of your employee, and I want to create an ID of this, right? So if I say sys out, right, and emp dot ID. Okay, now if you see here, I have no access to the ID here, right? Now, since even the employee is actually, is this correct? One sec. Okay, so this, since even though employee is extending a person right now, I'm trying to access the ID. So even though I'm not able to get the ID here. Okay, now what if I do it somewhere here? If I have a method here, public void print behavior of employee. Okay, now if I say sys out and I just say ID, okay, we'll do one thing. Yeah, even though this, yeah, this is still accessible here, because you're in the subclass right now, and the subclass has all the rights to access your variables here. Okay, and then we're coming on to this property, we are not able to access this. Okay, and we'll talk about yeah. Okay, so this is not accessible as such here, right? Now if I go to these some of the package also, so when you talk about protected, okay, you can access the protected inside the same package. Okay, if it is your subclasses and all. And if I have a different class, different package also, let's say when you talk about person, this person, okay, what I'll do right now, I have an ID here. Okay, I'll create the new class. Okay, I'll create a class inside this package itself. So let me say it as a client here, and public, and I'm going to create a person here, person per equals to new person. Okay, now if I say sys out, I say per dot ID. Now if you see here, why this ID which is protected was not accessed in your client program here, right? Now if you see, as I said, when you talk about protected, it will be only access to the subclasses or inside the same package, right? Now if you see the person here, the person has got a property ID here. Okay, and okay, so the person has got an ID here. All right, and in the same package itself, I'm creating a client program here. Okay, so when I create the client program in the same package, that particular client is able to access your ID. Okay, now let's see if I just say same, copy this and create in some other package. Let's say this is some other package here, right? Now if you see, I'm getting a compile time error saying that the visibility is not there in this case. Okay, so that means when you talk about a protected, it is always accessed inside your package. Is there a question from Rashmi?
No, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'm just muting you. Okay. All right, so here if you see, it is as I said, it is not accessible. So protected is always accessed inside the package or in the subclasses, right? So when I talk about inside the package, as I said, this client and the person are in the same package. So for that reason, your client is able to access the properties of your person. Okay, so when I talk about this client,
Avast virus database has been updated.
okay, so when I talk about this person, this client here, as you know, this ID is the employee is, I'm creating an object of this employee. in a different package, so it is not accessible here. Okay. Now, these are the basic features of what you need to understand when you talk about encapsulation. So which one to make it protected, which one to make it private, which one to make it public. So it all depends on you what you do here. Okay. Now the same thing goes for your for your methods also. Okay. So depending on the specifiers, those methods will be accessed in different packages accordingly. Okay. Now, let me even comment this out. Okay. Let's jump on to a different topic which is very much related to the same thing which we are going to discuss right now. Okay, so we are going to talk much about the inheritance, and let's see what all things we can do it using your inheritance. And there are different things which we are going to talk about right now. We are going to talk about abstraction. We are going to talk about interface also. Okay. Now, we spoke about one particular hierarchy here. We spoke about a person. We spoke about an employee here. Okay. Now these two are in a particular hierarchy, correct? Now, even though they being in a particular hierarchy, I still have the access from any of the client program to create an instance of the person, right? Now I just basically want some basic information in the person, and I want somebody to inherit those properties, right? So if suppose a person is having some behavior in it, let's say print me. Okay, so the print me behavior, I want all these subclasses should access these behaviors. Okay, so let me create a new package, and we'll start it from the very beginning. So right click, what is this? Okay, new package, and let me name this as abstract interface example. Okay, now right click, new class. So I'm going to create a hierarchy here. So let me create a hierarchy for a person. Okay. Okay, so let me say it is a person here. So person has got some properties. If I can copy and paste the properties from this person, copy this and paste it here. Okay, and let me copy the constructor also. Copy this. Okay, let me copy this first as of now, then we'll delete it later. Okay, and I have got the setters and getters accordingly and whatnot. Okay, so leave it as it is. Okay, now I know that this is person as it is there in the very top hierarchy right now. I want, obviously when you talk about a person, when you talk about an employee, you talk about a person, right? So I know that when I talk about an employee will definitely extend your person here, right? So let me say new class. Okay, and let me create a class known as employee. Okay, let's say this is XYZ employee. Okay, so this is XYZ employee, and finish. Okay, so, and this is going to extend your person which is present in your abstract interface example. Okay, so this is plain and simple hierarchy which we have created right now. Okay, and let me add up the constructor here with this details. Okay, now I have created a class XYZ employee which is extending a person for sure. All right, now at the same time I can even create one more employee here. Let's say a new class ABC employee. So this is from the XYZ company, this is from ABC company. And the same thing here, this goes person here, and the person is going to be the superclass of your ABC company, sorry, ABC employee. So let me add even the constructor also and delete these unwanted comments. Okay, so very plain and simple right now, being a client program. Okay, what I can do, right click, new, let's say I'm going to create a new package here, let's say dot client. So this is my client program wherein I'm going to create a okay, I can just have this client as a company also. So right click new class, and I'm just going to say this as a company. Okay, company to hire, not fire. So create a main class here and main method here. And what do? I just basically say, see here I'm basically dealing with a particular hierarchy of a employee. Okay, it could be any kind of hierarchy. When you talk about animal, animal has got its own hierarchy. So when you talk about person, person has got its own hierarchy, and things like that. So here I know whenever I want to create a person, create an employee, I will basically say ABC employee ABC equals to new ABC employee. Okay, that is how basically I will do it. And let me take the name as Jairam. Okay, and SSN is here 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. Now, in this hierarchy, I will only talk about an employee, as I said, right? So I can even, what did I do here? I just created an employee here, ABC from the ABC company, and I created an reference here, and I created an object here. Okay. Now, I still have an option for me to create a person here, right? Person PER equals to new person. Okay. So PER is so N, and let me even copy the same thing here, paste it here, right? So I need to import this one, and okay, I need to import this as well, right? Because both are in the different packages. Who all are in different package? Company to hire as well as the person are in different packages here. Okay. Now, what next? I'm not supposed to create an object of a person here. Okay, because I am only talking about an employee here. Okay, I'm not at all interested in a person. When a company is hiring an employee, let's say an experienced employee. Okay, so let me rename this to hiring experienced. Okay, hire company to hire experienced guys. A very big class. Continue. Right. Now, a company to hire experienced guys. Now, I know that whenever I create, whenever being a company to hire, I want an employee who's experienced one. I don't want any fresher guy to be part of my company. Okay. Now, but still, I still have an option to create a person simply. Okay, because even that person is not been associated to ABC employee, or maybe it is an XYZ employee. All right. Now, what should I do in order to stop this one? Okay. Now, we will talk about abstract right now. So in order to, I don't want any of the class to create an instance of this person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this as abstract. Okay. So when you create a class as an abstract class, you basically cannot create an instance of the abstract class. So that is what I'm getting a compile time error here. Comment this out. This is ruled out. Now, question is, why did I make this as an abstract? Okay. Now, when I make this as an abstract, I know that I cannot create an instance of this particular class. Okay. Now, I want some in this abstract class. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have some methods. Let's say public void print person behavior. Okay. Now, as I am talking about print person behavior, I will say here sys out, and I'm going to say simply name, because when I talk about a person, I only talk about the name, and a name equal to name plus SSN, okay, plus age. That's all. Okay. Because I know when I talk about a person, I will not even be able to talk about an employee, because this is at the top of the hierarchy. Okay. Now the same thing, being a subclass, right? Being maybe it is an ABC employee, right? or maybe it is an XYZ employee, right? Now, both the employees in the client program, when I say ABC dot, right? So I can basically print the behavior of that particular employee. So right click, run as Java application. So I'm able to see the details of this particular employee. Okay. Now, I'm good here. The same thing goes for your XYZ employee also. So if I create an instance of your XYZ employee, copy these things and paste it here. Okay, so I just say XYZ employee. This goes as XYZ. XYZ. Okay. You just need to import this, and the same thing goes here. If I let's say this is Jairam XYZ, okay, and let's say this is 35 and this is 11111. So right click, run as Java application. I get the desired result out here. What is this? XYZ. Okay, now let's see what's happening here. When I use this XYZ, okay, so there's an issue here. Right click, run as Java application. I'm good right now. Okay. XYZ dot print. All right. Okay. Now, thank you. Thanks, Ajit. All right. So, what next? Why did I do all these things? Because all these things you guys know already, right? That means in my super class, I am basically having a basic. I mean, I'm having a default functionality here, and you even know that if you want to have its own, I mean, employee wants to have its own specific behavior, so employee can go here and basically override this particular functionality, correct? So and then I can write whatever I can. Let's say I want to say here. I am from ABC employee. Right. So if I go here, right click, run as Java application, I basically get it as ABC employee because I have already overridden the functionality. Pretty simple. Okay. So as of now, I don't even, okay. So this is one behavior which I have it here, right? Now, I want that whoever the employee is, they have to override the functionality of your print person's behavior. Okay, but if you see here, still XYZ is not even implementing it, even though when I talk about XYZ is not saying I'm from which company, correct? But when I talk about an ABC employee and say print behavior, I am able to access saying that, okay, I'm from ABC employee here, apart from accessing the variables out here. We are not even interested about those things at all. Okay. So here, when I run this program, the ABC company is saying that ABC employee is saying that I'm from ABC employee, but still your XYZ is not telling me he's from which employee, right? So what should I do in order to make sure that whenever your XYZ employee is extending a person, okay, he has to implement the functionality by himself, the way ABC has done it over here. Okay, so what should we do in that case? Let me go back to the person. Okay, and let's not even talk about this behavior right now. Let me have one more method right here. Okay, so in this I will say, okay, so no, not a good idea. Okay, so what am I going to do is, instead of print person's behavior and I have given the implementation, what am I going to do is I'm going to remove this. Okay, just give a semicolon. Okay, and say public abstract void print person behavior. Okay, now in an abstract class you can have abstract method. Now what is the use of this abstract method? Okay, now even I could have something like this also, one method which is having the default implementation. So this is what you have, the default implementation, because TATION. Okay, so you have the default implementation, so that if anyone is going to invoke this particular method, they are going to on their own reference. If you have not overridden the way ABC has done it, okay, then that means your all the classes will definitely going to invoke this particular method. Okay, fair enough. Now what am I going to do is I'm going to have one more functionality, one more behavior, okay, of a particular person for an employee in specific. Okay, so here if I'm going to say here public void employee behavior, right? Now I'm going to make this as an abstract method. Now there is a reason behind why I made this as an abstract, because being a person, okay, as I'm talking about an employee, all right. So let us instead of making this as a person, let us make this as an employee itself. Okay, so let me make this as an employee itself. So right now the complete class continue. So if you see, everything is employee. So on the top of the hierarchy, I've got an employee, and employee has got a name, SSN, and age, right? So everything all good here, right? Now here I've got a default functionality of a method, default method behavior, and the other one is your abstract void employee behavior, right? Now what am I saying? I do not want to implement the employee's behavior in the same class. Instead, I want the subclasses to be forced to use this particular behavior. Now if you go and see the XYZ employee, it is giving me a compile time error. If you go back to the ABC employee also, it is going to give me a compile time error. So what should I do? Just click on here and say add unimplemented methods. So when I say add unimplemented method, what it basically does, it basically overrides the functionality which is present in your employee class. Okay, and if you see here in the employee class, you just have the skeleton of your method. So this is just your skeleton of the method, okay, with its own signature out here. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you you can even have your signatures, let's say int name also. All right, now here what did I do? I just added a method employee behavior. Copy this. I went here, and unless and until you implement, so when I talk about implement, right, so this is just a skeleton. You have to implement this behavior somewhere in your subclasses. So that's what, as your ABC employee is extending your employee, okay, so if I do comment this out, I'll be in trouble, because I'll be getting a compile time error. So what it does, it says the type ABC employee must implement the inherited abstract method. So it says there is an abstract method, go and implement that. So I very well comment this one. Now I have to add my own default implementation here, right? So I say here, I am from ABC employee. Okay, and I work on, let's say, Java. Okay, so the same thing goes here. I need to copy the same thing here and go to my XYZ employee, and same, I'll just copy and paste it here. Now my compile time error is gone. Okay, why? Because I have implemented the method which is abstract in your superclass. Okay, now what is the use of this actually? Because when I talk about an employee, I don't want some default behavior on the superclass so that anybody can inherit that. I want that person who's actually implementing, actually extending me, they have to have their own default behavior accordingly. Okay, it is something like if you talk about a template, let's say I give you a PPT when you talk about PowerPoint presentation. Okay, there is some default templates are already present, right? So they don't give some default behavior like if you have a default template, let's say whether you talk about a spreadsheet, whether you talk about a PPT, wherever it is. Okay, you just use those templates and add your own sketches, add your own data in that, but at the background you have got some basic templates in that. Okay, or basic skeleton of a particular PPT. All right, the same thing goes here. You have got a basic behavior, I mean just your skeleton of it, and you're supposed to inherit in your subclasses. Okay, any questions on this? Who is not at all familiar about abstract at all? Does it make sense out here? please ping me if you have any doubts. I'll just wait for a minute because this is very important concept. And if you understand this, we are going to jump on to another topic right now, which will help you in understanding things. So please speak out and come up with some concerns here.
H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.